Oh, I forgot to put myself in. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Holy smokes. I have not done a live in a long, long time. And of course, I never tell anybody when I go live. I just show up and be like, well, what's up? So, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Whoever watches this live chat, want to say thank you for the opportunity to entertain you for a little bit. Um, what can I say? I am just trying to deal with situations that are going on both in my personal life and my everyday life. There's always something going on. But first of all, I just want to catch up with a lot of you guys. I know a lot of you guys are like wondering like what's going on with you, Mario. Some of you guys text me. For those that have my number, I want to say thank you for checking in, saying what's up, see how you doing, man. I'm doing well, guys. I've been busy, been very busy with work. Work has a tendency of keeping me very busy, and just trying to enjoy life as best as possible. Just like a lot of you guys out there, right now are we're going through some really challenging times in the country, both on the economic front and also with all the nonsense that's been going on lately. And Well, I wanted to kind of touch base with a lot of you guys. I know some guys have asked me like, "Hey, what's your thought on this or what's your thought on that?" And in all honesty, I gonna give you guys my 2 cents on some stuff, and you guys decide whether you think I'm right or wrong or whatever the case may be. Now, guys, I, for one, have always been, although I am a supporter of Trump, I don't always like everything he fucking does. Um, One of the things that I'm going to talk about today is the whole Nicolas Maduro fucking situation and what happened in that mission. Can't really go into detail as to some of the stuff that I know because obviously don't want to let the general public know that because I did get a chance to work with a lot of these great individuals that we're talking about. I know their capabilities. I know what they can do. So the only thing I can tell you is what happened to Nicolas Maduro. Um, he had it coming. He had it coming, man. You don't go out there and tell the leader of the free world that he's a coward and that come and get me, I'm over here in Miraflores, and you know the motherfucker's gonna come and do something about it, man. And that's what that douchebag, I mean, that's what fucking Trump did. He fucking just said, all right, motherfucker. And he did something about it. And hey, cool. um there's been a lot of stuff that's been lingering regarding that whole mission and how successful it was. Well, it was successful because pretty much all of the folks that were in it, were very good at what they were doing. So, therefore, you know, what happened. Am I surprised at how efficient they were in doing what they did? Nope, not one bit. Um, um, I think that a lot of the things that happened in that particular mission um were really a credit to a lot of the mistakes that were learned in the previous missions that were done previously. I think we definitely learned a lot during Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff going on during that time, and a lot of us did a lot of missions, and it was one of those things that it helped a lot of us with what's what transpired and all this stuff. It was good to see. It was I was happy to see that they did what they did, and the efficiency in which they did it, to me, never strikes me as something that's surprising. Um, I got, like I tell you, I got a chance to work with these individuals, and I know what their capabilities are, man, and was not really surprised. The one thing that that a lot of people keep talking about is this recording the surface like the day before or afterwards of a guard. He sounded like he was a guard. I mean, I listened to this in Spanish, so I'm very familiar with what he was saying. Um, One thing that he does talk about is he talks about two things that really don't make any sense to me, because I, for one, don't think this really happened. One, he was saying that all of a sudden a bunch of drones showed up in the middle. Well, they said that their satellites went down, which that makes sense. What doesn't make sense to me is that he says, "Oh, the bunch of drones just came in and started attacking us," and I'm like, "We don't ever fucking expose our drones like that. That does not really happen." So, to me, it's like that didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense. Him saying that, and then he started talking about this sound wave or something like that that happened during that whole situation. Um, do we have the capability of something like that? Of course. I mean, we created stealth. I mean, like, what the fuck? But I don't think that that would be deployed in an urban setting. That's why it just didn't make sense to me, and like some of the stuff that he said. Um, he said how fast they were and how many of them were shooting people in the head. Yeah, that is factual, very factual. Um, but some of the other stuff that he talks about, like saying that all of a sudden a bunch of drones came in and they showed up and you could see them, and they didn't know how to go against drones. I'm like, we never exposed anything like that. I mean, even when I used a small little handheld, I wouldn't say it's a drone, but it's more like a remote control type of uh like little plane. It's called a Raven. You guys can look that up. um I don't, and even then those things were so quiet you really couldn't hear them. I mean, you could probably hear them, but you not would be able to expose it, because in most cases it was hard to see them. As it was, even the operator was hard for them to see. So that's what it kind of struck me as odd. um I think in reality, guys, with that whole situation that happened in Venezuela, you know what it did? It really scared the shit out of everybody in Latin America. Because I'm gonna tell you something. The great thing about being bilingual, man, is you can, and my wife has this. We have DirecTV, and she's got like this fucking Spanish program, right? Spac package or whatever. And me being the fucking curious guy that I am, started looking at um a lot of the news agencies from Colombia, some from Venezuela, and it was crazy how many of them just all of a sudden changed their tune on the United States, and on that just won that event. So it does have a profound effect on the Western Hemisphere, because in reality, um, this really did put an oh shit factor to a lot of people. So yeah, that to me was really good. This whole thing with Greenland, I understand it, but I think that there's better ways of going about it. I think we should definitely not piss off the Danish people, because they do um, they do find Greenland to be very beneficial for them. I think in many ways the Danish people have never really been very smart in dealing with that territory and what it really can provide them and benefit them. But it's no different than when the Russians sold fucking Alaska. They didn't know what the hell they had until they lost it, and it is what it is. But yeah, I don't want to continue talking about politics. I think the one thing that we really do need to focus on is making things fucking affordable. I don't know how it is for you guys, but $100 in the fucking groceries at a supermarket doesn't get you shit anymore. And it is sad to see that, because in reality, many of the wages aren't going up. Many of everything else continues to go fucking sky high, man. We are, I live in the state of California, and we might be going through some serious shit pretty soon. I don't know if you guys know this, but two of the refineries, the main refineries for the state, are going to be shutting down due to the policies of California, making their life miserable to the point which, they just said, "Look, we're not doing business with you guys anymore. We're closing shop and we're getting the hell out of here." And one of them, for sure, has said that they, no matter what the state does, they're going to close down. And it's sad because this state is the biggest consumer of fuel products, the biggest consumer of fucking of gasoline and diesel. And if it gets to a point where gas starts going up to $6 and a fucking a gallon, it's gonna make things really difficult for people here. Is really not only that, but it's gonna affect everybody else, because you guys need to understand that California is the biggest producer of a lot of things like almonds, pistachios, a lot of your your food comes out of this area. You got tomatoes, you got potatoes, you got freaking corn, you got all kinds of stuff, even cotton, everything. And it's either going to drive farmers out of business, and it's going to make things even harder. Um, so just kind of concerned about that stuff, because I think in reality it's going to affect people. It's affecting people right now. Just trying to get some groceries is starting to become a hassle. Nowadays you can't even buy a freaking Happy Meal or whatever for under 6-7 bucks. It's ridiculous how much we spend now on basic necessities, and I think that's something that really needs to be focused on. We really need to focus on making things more affordable, and making things to a point where it's easy for people to live on, you know because it's going to start making life very difficult for people. So I think a lot of you guys have also been asking me, like, why, kind of, why have you kind of faded out of YouTube? It's been a combination of a lot of things. One, YouTube has made this platform so hard. They have. It's to a point now that you really think about it. YouTube used to be the platform where everybody would utilize for anything, whether they're learning a craft, or having an issue with something. You have somebody's always making some sort of video or troubleshooting, stuff like that. Well, anything firearms related is being taken out of YouTube. They restricted many of the users or the content creators to the point where um, it's not feasible for them to make videos. I mean, in the golden era of YouTube, there's a lot of people that are making money out of YouTube. That's like pretty much what they lived off. But then, YouTube has made it to a point where it's so hard. Excuse me. So hard for you guys to do anything, that it's not fun anymore. And I'm always been thankful for the connections that I've gotten over the years whether it's to the gun community or the reloading community or the veteran community, or the prepper community. I feel like I've been part of all those communities, and I'm always been thankful for all the great people that I met throughout the years. But you know, think about it, man. It is getting to a point where it has made it really difficult for many of us out there to do anything or to have any content that somehow it's going to get blocked or whatever the case may be. And technically speaking, other than YouTube, there's really not another platform that really has that effect on people. The way that it's able to connect other folks. I mean, some of the other platforms out there, like Rumble and those other places, although they're good and they're in many cases a little bit more forgiving with the content that's put in on those videos. Um it's really hard for you to really connect with a lot of these folks, because half of the time they're blocking your videos or taking whatever the case would be. So it made it to a point that it's not fun for me to do YouTube anymore. I used to do it as a hobby, something that I just enjoyed, and I really enjoyed like connecting with folks and being able to interact with them and stuff like that. But then it's come to a point where people who are subscribed to you, they can't see your videos because somehow some way it got caught up in the red tape and they don't know that you made a video, whatever the case may be. And then people hit you up like 6 months after you made a video. I'm like, what the heck? Hey man, I didn't know you made this video. Like, you know and YouTube has been really difficult for content creators, and it's kind of hard for you to find like-minded people like that in other platforms. Um so to me, I felt like, oh, should I start Rumble? Should I get really big on it and do all the things that I need to do? I'm like, most cases I didn't want to do all that, man, because I didn't want to have to invest the time and then sometimes money to create content and have it taken down. So it got to a point where I was like, you know what? Not really happy with this whole situation. Let me focus my time and my, whatever else I'm doing in life into something else. And that's what I did. I kind of been focusing on family. My job does keep me pretty busy, but at the same time, I've learned to kind of detach myself from YouTube because um it also has become very political. So if for some reason you are either left wing or right wing, for some reason people have a tendency of just trolling your accounts, trolling your videos to the point that um, it makes it very difficult for you to make a video and make a good point, because somehow, some ways, either getting reported or other people are just constantly just annoying you on those videos. Um, so like I tell you guys, it's not fun anymore. And when it's not fun for you or for me or for anybody else, um, that's the reason why people decide to leave or decide not to really be as active as they want to be. And that's really what's been going on with YouTube. I think in reality, YouTube has become so restricted that it has taken away a lot of the good content creators out there that made a lot of great stuff, man. I mean, you know, I can just tell you that there's a lot of people out there that used to make some really really good videos, man, and used to get millions of views, and you're able to interact with these people, and it was fun. It was really fun. I remember back in the day when we used to do like Google chats, and you had like 7 or 8 people in that sucker, man, and it was just fun, man. It was just fun. Everybody's just talking smack and having a good time, and now we don't have that anymore. Now we have to get something like this, like StreamYard, in order for us to like have more than one person in a chat room and be able to communicate with them. They take in the ability to monetize anything. It's just it's made it very difficult, and it's made it to a point that, a lot of people are focusing on other things, whether it's family, whether it's their career, or just focusing on something else that's in their life. And that's what's been happening with me. Just YouTube, I don't find it as fun anymore. I still do like to watch it. I like to watch certain people that make certain things, or sometimes I like just to watch videos on my friends who, decided to make a video for some reason. But it's really hard. It's really hard because not everybody out there is getting the notifications like they should, and you're not able to see those contents that you want out of it. So that's the reason why in reality I kind of been distant from YouTube, man. Just it's not fun anymore. I got better things to do with my life. And in reality too, I've kind of been dealing with some people that have made this platform to be very difficult. Like, I understand a lot of us like to get on live chats and like to have fun and like to chat and like to kid around or whatever the case may be. But when it gets to a point where, you know, people have become too fucking sensitive and they make it seem like, oh, you're the bully and all this shit, and this and that, when in reality I was just doing is just busting your balls, and you take that personal, then in reality that's the kind of shit that I don't want to deal with. I deal with enough drama and bullshit in my house and at work for me to want to put up that bullshit on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it's not fun anymore. Once in a while, I like to get on chats like with Scotsman and maybe some other guys. Just to shoot the shit, just to reconnect with some of my friends because you guys are important to me, and that's the reason why I decided to make this video. Just the simple fact that some people need to light the fuck up, and they need to take a joke, and they need to fucking learn to deal with it, and you know there's a lot of people in here that just plain bitches, man. That's really all I could tell you. And those are the kind of people that just kind of drive you away from this fucking platform because they don't have the balls to tell you the shit. They rather cry to other fucking people and make themselves fucking feel like they're victims and shit. So, but anyways, guys, I don't want to take any more of your time out there. I didn't see a comment out there. I think everybody's just busy doing things in life. But if you guys got a chance to watch this video, man, just one, I want to thank you for listening to me and just understanding where I'm coming from on a lot of the stuff, and also just understand, guys. We're all here to have fun. This is a good way to disconnect from reality. The nonsense that's going on, whether it's political or personal, whatever the case may be. It's a good way for us to just get away from all that shit. You know, and help each other out and learn from one another. But if all we're doing is fucking bickering and bitching at each other, I think a lot of us have better things to do with our time. So it's been what 23 minutes, guys. I'm not going to continue this chat any longer. I just think it's I said what I needed to say. I wanted just to reconnect with some of you guys out there and see how everybody's doing. I know that in some cases I'm doing lives and I'm doing them at fucking weird times, man. You know, uh, yeah, man. Appreciate you watching, William. But in reality, it's just we need to get ourselves back into just having fun, man. Life's too fucking short for us to be dealing with bitching and bickering, man. And whether you believe in the left or the right or whatever the case may be, let's not bring the political bullshit to it. Let's just have fun. But anyways, guys, I really do appreciate your time. You guys all take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care.